Next on Worcester News tonight, strong winds cause damage across central Massachusetts. At look at some of the mess left behind. Plus, a Worcester man faces a judge. He's charged with OUI in a gruesome crash, pitting a pedestrian between two cars. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Olivia Lemon. Strong wind gusts are toppling power lines and trees and knocking out power to thousands of customers across central Massachusetts. There are more than 40,000 outages statewide. A high wind warning remains in effect until 7 p.m. Here's meteorologist Tim Kelly with a first look at our local forecast.
The storms continue in off the Pacific Ocean. Last week, that snowstorm from Arizona moved to our west and now is to our north, and that's the reason for the wind. High pressure coming into central Canada and low pressure to our north. We've had many gusts past 60 miles per hour, thousands without electricity, and there's been some snow mostly in the air and in the mountains and off the Great Lakes. The wind warning expires this evening, but the temperature's going down, so it's a cold night, especially rough if electricity is out. Low temperature by tomorrow morning, about 15 to 20 degrees. The wind does not completely go away, but we're not going to have damaging gusts for the most part after about 7 or 8 o'clock tonight. Sunshine tomorrow, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We've recovered only to the low 20s on the top of the hills. A few of the down lower elevations and some of the cities will get a little bit warmer than that. All right, so there's the wind. The yellow is the wind damage. 11, 12 o'clock tonight, the yellow goes away. So the wind is going to go away, but it's cold, and we're tracking snow in the Wednesday forecast in a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Tim. And heavy winds are still hitting the area tonight. Damage reports came in throughout the day with wires down and trees on houses. The majority of power outages at this hour are in Worcester County. Our Chandler Walsh joins us now with more. Chandler?
Olivia, according to the National Grid, there are more than 16,000 power outages in Worcester County at this hour. It's the most outages per county in the state. And for one Sturbridge couple, they say it was the windiest day they've ever experienced. A large sugar maple is removed from the Golinski's roof. The Sturbridge couple say they're lucky no one was hurt. The tree crashed into their bedroom after they were up for the day.
Looked outside, the tree came down. Quite a mess. Inside got cracked walls, a hole through the ceiling. Most of the damage, I believe, will be to the outside.
Thousands in Worcester County are experiencing damaging winds and power outages Monday. It made for a busy day for electrical crews and tree service companies.
They're real busy, yeah. I've called several places, and most of them aren't even answering their phone. They're so busy. So we finally got this company here. They came right out.
According to the National Weather Service, wind gusts reached more than 60 miles per hour in the area. In Charlton, it meant more calls for first responders of power lines down. Deputy Fire Chief Jason Cantara says they're not the only ones.
We have the scanner on upstairs, so we're not the only ones. Southbridge, Sturbridge, Oxford, Dudley, we're all running around today.
Cantara says people should be extra cautious and stay inside if possible. He says damage to trees poses problems for power lines and also makes it more dangerous.
Even if they don't come down large sections, even some smaller dead growth, be very wary about. They're landing in the streets, they're landing on some parked cars.
Mike Golinski says he and his wife are going to have to sleep in their living room while their house is repaired. They've lived in the home 42 years and never thought this would happen.
This one just happened to be angled the right way, I guess, and the wind blowing the right way.
The Golinskis say they've had trees fall down in the past, but never close to their house. They're hoping repairs are complete in a matter of weeks. Chandler Walsh, Worcester News Tonight.
And tree branches down on a power line in Millbury ignited a fire this afternoon. This was the scene when we first arrived. Neighbors say the fire was much bigger when the tree first fell on the wires. A short time later, another branch fell, causing a loud bang and the fire to go out.
The tree was on fire because the tree limb had taken and fallen against the wires. And then we heard a big bang before, and then there was a fire and one wire went down, and then we just heard another one.
And Millbury was just one of the many towns dealing with trees and wires down. In Westborough, a portion of Church Street was closed as crews worked to clean up this tree. The large tree fell on wires, causing a utility pole to lean into the road. National Grid was also on scene assisting with live wires. And in Worcester, you could see just how windy it was. Trash and recycling was flying around. This is video from Brook Street. Casella was coming around picking up today's recycling, but it appears items not in bins were not collected. A horrifying crash in Worcester over the weekend. A 36-year-old man has lost both of his legs after getting pinned in between two cars in the city. Now the driver, police say, is responsible, is facing charges. Our Rosalind Flaherty joins us from Worcester District Court, where the suspect faced a judge earlier today. Rosalind?
Olivia, prosecutors say his blood alcohol content was twice the legal limit when he hit the man. Witnesses tell us the scene was horrifying. 22-year-old Jeffrey Pilko faces a judge. Prosecutors say he was under the influence when he crashed his car into a man, severing his legs.
While speaking with him, he detected a strong odor of an alcoholic beverage coming from the defendant's breath. He noted in his police report that the odor was so strong that he actually had to roll down the window.
Prosecutors say Pilko was twice the legal limit when he hit a parked car on Vernon Street in Worcester Sunday night. The 36-year-old victim was standing in the back of the parked car and was pinned. He had to have both of his legs amputated.
There was blood everywhere, his legs, he kept saying something about his legs.
It was ugly.
Neighbors say they called 911 when they heard a loud bang.
He was crying, saying that he lost his legs.
The ambulance came in, police.
Prosecutors say Pilko got into a fight with his girlfriend and went out to look for her.
He did say something to the police that, "I don't remember what happened. I know that I did something bad and I accept it."
His attorney says he has a clean driving record. Neighbors say although it's a busy street, this crash is shocking.
We've lived here 17 years and nothing remotely like this has ever happened.
A GoFundMe page raising money for the victim identifies him as Andy Rodriguez. Pilko is being held on $10,000 bail. Live in Worcester, Rosalind Flaherty, Worcester News Tonight.
In Shrewsbury, one person is dead after being hit by a car Sunday evening. It happened at the corner of Elm Street and Route 9 last night. It appears the car involved did stop and the driver stayed on scene. No charges have been filed at this time. The pedestrian was transported to the hospital where they later died. The road had to be shut down for a period of time. The executive director of the Worcester Regional Research Bureau will be taking over a new position with the state. The state's Office of Housing and Economic Development announced Monday Timothy McGourthy will serve as the next Deputy Secretary for Housing and Economic Development. McGourthy has worked in the city for the past 12 years. He led the Research Bureau since 2014. He had been Worcester's Chief Development Officer and Chief Executive Officer of the Worcester Development Authority. McGourthy will take over his new role March 14th. Developing news tonight, a Florida prosecutor formally files prostitution charges against Patriots owner Robert Kraft. He allegedly made multiple visits to a Florida massage parlor involved in a human trafficking investigation. Our Brittany Schaefer joins us live now with the details. Brittany?
Olivia, Kraft has been charged with soliciting a prostitute in Florida. This happened just hours before the Patriots played in the AFC Championship game. In Worcester, a rape crisis center says sexual exploitation is a major problem.
Robert Kraft is charged Monday in connection to a prostitution sting in Florida. The Patriots owner is linked to a massage parlor targeted in a months-long human trafficking investigation.
It's heartbreaking, because we see people who do really good things and we raise them up and put them on pedestals, and it's a far way down fall when something like this happens.
In Worcester, Pathways for Change says it's shocking Kraft solicited a prostitute, but it's shedding more light on a big issue deserving more attention.
It's sad, and of course it's shocking when we hear this, but it's more about the what and the where and the fact that it is such a big problem, and we are actually selling people. It's a sexual slavery.
I think people are probably very worried, as we need to be, that this is an epidemic that just started. The reality is this is an epidemic that has been going on and on and on.
The Rape Crisis Center helps anyone affected by sexual violence. Executive Director Kim Dawkins says Pathways for Change knows firsthand sexual exploitation isn't just happening in Florida.
It's not just in the massage parlors, it's in the hotels, it's in our communities, it's right in our neighborhoods, it's on our backyard, on the corner of our street. So we often hear folks talking about, oh, it's not happening in our neighborhood anymore because we're not seeing it on the street, as if somehow that means that our community is free from sexual exploitation and selling sex, for money. And it's is still happening.
Dawkins says to help put an end to the problem, the community needs to take action and recognize there are victims involved.
We have to start by believing.
And the NFL issued a statement on the allegation saying, quote, "The personal conduct policy applies equally to everyone, and they will handle this issue like they would any other." Brittany Schaefer, Worcester News Tonight.